Thank you. Now we get into the question portion. We'll be rotating candidates as to who starts first. Every candidate will have a chance to be the first one to answer the question. Our first question, we will be starting with Dan Fondries, and here is the first question. The end of the school year is upon us, and the state government has still not determined the size of revenue cuts for this year's foundation funds. Next year's revenue is equally uncertain. Given that the state budget is not under the control of the school board, how do you propose that the board should address the district's financial issues?
When I moved up here 10 years ago from Ohio, I remember a recruiter telling me, you got to go to Michigan because it's a mecca for manufacturing. Things have changed, and it's probably going to be a while before they get back to the mecca of manufacturing. With that said, when you're looking at cuts at the state level, that start laying off safety services like state patrolmen and stuff, it's going to be a while before we get additional funding. Now we need to work, and continue to work, and continue to leverage the Lansing political people to elected officials to get the funding rules changed. But I think that's a long-term solution. In the short term, it needs to be run like any company, like you run a manufacturing company is. You can't say, okay, we're going to wait a year or two, and then we'll get our books balanced, and then we'll be back on track. Guess what? You're out of business. They're going to close your plant. They're going to move out, and probably there's people in this room that have experienced that. We have to tighten the belts. It's not going to be easy. It's going to continue to be tough, but we got to tighten the belts. We've got to get this union contract settled. I've been involved in manufacturing for about 30 years, okay, and I've been involved in numerous contracts, all different types of unions, including UAW. I've been involved in strikes with the UAW from a management standpoint. I've been in contract talks. If I was ever in a contract discussion or contract negotiations that went on a year past the deadline, we'd be out of business. It's just not acceptable. As Ed said, I think the highest priority in this school district is to get this contract settled. There's 4 other unions sitting out there, 5 unions total in the school district. Guess what? They're all going to come up. We got to get this financial house in order. There's just absolutely no excuse for the way this has been run. Thank you.
With the state possibly cutting more money from our funding, it creates a problem with trying to create a good budget. The teachers need a contract, because when you have a good contract for teachers, they're going to be there, and when we need to hire more teachers, we're going to bring in the best teachers that are out there. When you have the best teachers at your school, people want to go to your school for their education. Since all of Livingston County almost is all school of choice, if you live close to Brighton, or if you live close to Howell and Brighton or surrounding areas, and you can commute to Howell, and you feel that the education at Howell is superior, far in excess of any of the other school districts, we get more students. When we get more students, we get additional funding from the schools. We get additional from the state. And when a school has more money, it helps our budget. With more cuts, yes, we're not getting as much money, but you have to deal with that. Everybody has to tighten their belt. I was reading a newspaper that appellate judges of Michigan are talking about giving up their cars, their state-given cars, to help cut costs. We need to do that here. We need to figure out ways to balance the budget. We need to figure it out, and we can't spend money if we don't have it. Thank you.
Well, as the incumbent, I probably know better than anybody sitting at the table what we have done for the last 4 years. We have cut $8.4 million out of this budget. We have eliminated over 73 staff positions within the district. We have several of our union groups who have gone to a different insurance policy in which to save this district money. We have not purchased buses. We have not added necessary programming that other districts are allowed to add. Our hands are literally being held, handcuffed by our state legislators and by our government. We have done everything as a board that we can do, and we are going to continue to do this because right now we're sitting with cuts anywhere from 300,000 to another million, and that money will come out of our fund equity because we are already 3/4 of the way through the school year, so that money is already spent. We don't know where we're going to be at next year, but I can tell you as a board member, I have fought venomously for the last 4 years to try and get answers to these questions, and we are being stonewalled by Lansing, and your tax dollars are going to other districts. You know, all the districts throughout the state are suffering as we are, and none of us are being left unscathed by this, even the districts that are receiving the $12,000 per student. So we're all hurting, but I can guarantee you as a current board member, we've worked very hard over the last 4 years to keep things as balanced as possible for